You really don't have to be a body language expert to pick up on small signs when you're meeting clients face to face. But how are we bridging that gap now that we can't look anyone in the eye and we can't tell if someone's feeling a little bit shifty and they want to get out of the room?
Matthew.
Alex Burgess, a man that's sitting in the sun, enjoying the springtime.
I'm actually sat in the sun because all of my family are still in their bedrooms. It was my sister's 21st last night.
Hence the glasses. I'll keep it brief because I know you've got meeting after meeting and you're a very hard man to get hold of. I've heard that you're now doing a lot of proposals via video pitches. How are they working?
They are really different. You can't go in and read a room anymore. A lot of the time you do this thing where, because everyone's internet connection is not so good, it's just the speaker will have their video on. You'll be presenting like this and, and chatting away. You can't see whether you've landed a point with anyone in the room. The human element is gone, obviously. The sort of touchy-feely bit of sales, the nuance side, which I think as a company we've always been very good at. We've never gone in with a big sell. It's never been based on that. It's about relationships, the campaigns that we've delivered, and what we can bring to your agency mix is different to what you're doing already, and how we can shake things up. That part's a little bit harder to get across over video, but we're really looking at ways in which we can adapt this process.
It's great when they do have video on, because then you can bounce it. I've got two screens, so which helps me to have camera on one and I can see their faces, and then have the presentation going through because I have to share my screen as well. Easy when it's just one person you're pitching to. If there's now multiple people, then it makes it a bit harder. With the video side, we've started to find ways of doing that. And I think people are a bit more comfortable of having their video on now. If they don't have their video on, you've just got to really back that the design and proposal team have done a great job, that the slides really speak for themselves. Or the most important part of sales is asking questions. That becomes even more important when there is no video, because then I've got to really understand before I even start pitching it, what are the key elements that they're looking for.
We're on a level playing field. All the platforms are up in terms of engagement because people are viewing much more content. And then also, you can't create content that isn't at home at the moment. And so for us as content creators from home, we are in the best position we've ever been to actually work across all different media. It's all about how this can live on social, because that's where people are consuming their content more than ever.
So every single week, the co-founders of Goat, Harry, Aaron and Nick, do a drop-in Q&A session where anyone from across the business can ask any single question they want, any concern, any query, and they will answer it directly. It's very helpful, so let's drop into the drop-in session.
Doing this mainly to ask questions if people have got any issues or have they got any things they're interested in finding out.
I'd be intrigued to know what the plan is once stuff starts to get loosened again. So for example, once people start to go back into work in offices.
I don't believe people will be back in offices for longer than 2 or 3 weeks, for potentially the next year. Until we have real confidence that this is actually behind us, which to be clear, I think is a year at least. I think a lot of people are going to get fucked thinking it's opening when it isn't. There is definitely going to be a second wave here. My expectation, and Harry and Nick's expectation, is we won't go back to 5 days a week in the office. Maybe we go back to something a bit more flexible, where maybe only half the people or a third of the people are ever necessarily in at the same time, but you come in if you've got meetings and clients, things like that, rather than just for the sake of it.
The whole concept of commercial property is going to completely change, and the fact that working in an office is just completely different, and that's fucking exciting for us. And also finding an office the size that we need in London is very, very difficult, as it proved with our sort of 4 to 6 month search to find something that was good. And then we got 2 days away from signing on it, and thank God we didn't. It's an opportunity for us to be a bit different, and the fact that we're not locked in for 5 years into an office where everyone has to go back, it's kind of feels like normal. At least when we do get back to some sort of physical premises, it is going to feel like a new start anyway, which is also quite exciting. Everyone's going to be ready to go into this new world, whereas other agencies are going to go back to what was the normal and try and fit back into the normal, when really that's just shoehorning in to something that doesn't exist anymore. We've got someone joined under the name iPhone, which I'm very excited to see. Who on earth that is? Someone's under iPhone only. Everyone has got their name. Someone's come in as iPhone. Who on earth is that?
It's me. Sorry.
It's Nick Martin. Disaster.